Welcome to 30 Days of Creativity. In this series of videos, I share with you the insights that I got by reading multiple books and research papers on this topic of creativity. In today's video, I want to share with you a paper that talks about what makes an idea not creative. The author says that we talk so much about creative ideas, but we ignore the fact that when an idea is not creative, we might not know exactly why it is not creative. And for this reason, he comes up with a formula for creative ideas. So there isn't one standard definition for what creativity is. There are lots of frameworks and models for creativity. For example, the big C and small c framework, where we have the creativity from everyday life and the creativity recognizing geniuses. However, the standard definition defines creativity as originality plus usefulness. Now, Simonton, the author of this paper, argues that we actually need a third element to this default definition. And this is where he introduces his formula of creativity, which besides originality and usefulness, also has surprise incorporated into it. So this is the formula, and now let's analyze the terms one by one. So P is the initial probability, which refers to how likely this idea is to occur to someone. A low P means an original idea, whereas a high P means that it is an obvious idea and almost anyone could come up with it. Now in the formula we have 1 minus P. This means that when we have a highly original idea, 1 minus P will actually be a higher number, whereas if the idea is a common one, it will yield a lower number. And to give you an intuition about it, let's say we have a very common idea with a high probability. Let's say the probability is actually 1. Then when we think about this term, 1 minus P, and we take a high probability for the idea, we will have 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. And when we plug in the overall formula, the result, we will have 0 multiplied with another two numbers, which will give 0 again. This means that even though the idea might be useful and it might have an element of surprise to it, if anyone can think about it, it's still a not creative idea. Hence, that 0 that is part of the originality of the idea cancels the overall idea to a non-creative one. The second parameter is U, which refers to the utility of the idea. If we have, for example, 1, it means that the idea is very useful. But if we have 0, it means that it's useless. And here the same thinking process applies as for the previous parameter. Let's say that we have a highly original idea, which also has the surprise element, but it's totally useless. Now, if the uselessness means a 0 in our formula, the final result will also be 0. So it's not a creative idea. And now we have the final parameter, which is 1 minus V. V refers to the prior knowledge of the person coming up with the idea. Did the person know in advance about that idea, or it was actually something that came on the spot? So in this formula, we basically want to have all those parameters, 1 minus P, U, and 1 minus V, as high as possible. And now in plain English, this means that it's unlikely for someone to come up with this idea. It's useful, and you also didn't see it coming. I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one.